All right, let's see it.
Hey,
yes, sir.
K, not X and Y.
Look, you made me scribble it on my paper.
Huh?
Oh. No, Lord.
All right, so find X and Y. So the key here is we need that that 30, 60, 90 triangle, right? In your book, or I mean in your notes, you might have written it like this: X square root 3, or yeah, and then 2x. And so what you have to do is learn to look at this and then make it fit the problem that's at hand. So then I'll flip this over, right, so that it looks just like this guy. And I'm like, okay, x is here. This is the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is always 2x, right? And then this is going to be x square root 3. Okay? And so when I look at that, I can go, okay, well this is x square root 3. So then x
is 4.
Is 4. Right? So then this is 4. So x is equal to 4. So what's y? And y is equal to 2x. So therefore it's 2 times 4, which is 8. So y is equal to 8. And it's a pretty easy problem. And we're going to keep doing those in that next chapter, like I said. So be able to do this on number 1 and number 9. Now number 2 is also easy because it's Pythagorean theorem. Okay? So we know that because of the... Now you could say, in here you could set this up as a 2-column proof, right? You could go, okay, 4 square roots of 3 is equal to x square roots of 3. Why? Definition of special triangles. Right? The 30, 60, 90 triangle. And then you're just dividing out. Think about that. I'm just dividing out that square root of 3. And so 4 is equal to x. And then I'm just substituting. So y, so what I did there, that was step 1, right? Step 2 was division property of equality, right? And step 3 is y is equal to 2x. Why is y equal to 2x? Because it's a special triangle, right? So definition of the special triangle, right? And then what would you do when you plug in something? Y is equal to 2 times 4. What would we call that? Substitution, right? And then your last step is, well, y is equal to 8. What was that? Simplification. And now we got a 2-column proof.
Is that for number 2?
That's number 1. A lot of work, right? So it's easy to do. Doing the 2-column proofs is a little harder, right? But that way I know what you're doing. And you learn to know what you're doing. Okay? In the same aspect with this guy, if you start from the very beginning and you say, okay, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? And just go Pythagorean theorem. And then what do?
Ricky, shut up.
You know that this is the hypotenuse, which is c. C is always across from the right angle. Okay? So, I know that this is 12 squared. Now this could be A or B, it doesn't matter. I like to make it B because then it doesn't look like a 6 when I write B. And I can go x squared plus 12, or sorry, 10 squared is equal to 12 squared, right? And what did we do there? What did we do? We substituted, right? And then, so our third step is x squared plus 100 is equal to 144, right? And what did we do? We did exponents, right? We simplified. We just said, you know, anytime you do PIMDAS or exponents, okay, you simplify, right? And then we subtract 100, and we get x squared is equal to 44, right? And so that is subtraction property of equality, right? Yeah? Okay. And then what? Square root, right? So 5 is x is equal to the square root of 44. And what we did there is we did the square root property of equality. Okay? Now you could call it square root property of equality, or you could call it exponential property of equality. It's up to you, because you're using exponents, right, to solve it. Instead of before, remember, subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, exponents, right? So you want to call it exponential property of equality, or you want to call it square root property of equality. I don't care. It's up to you. But it's that simple. Okay? But now what do we got to do? We got to simplify the simple. Break it down. 44, 2, 22, 2, 11, 11, 1. And what do we do with the pairs? Group them. And so 6 says that we have x is equal to 2 square roots of 11. And what did we do? We simplified. And we're doing all the steps that we learned. Right? All the steps we learned. But we got a 2-column proof. We're doing more than any other kid at any other school.
What does 5 stand for?
Or this one?
No,
or this?
Yeah.
So that says x, like, or just square root property.
Okay.
So square root property of equality. I think that's the easiest way to write it. Okay? I guarantee you guys are doing